Yes, but will you remind us that we wanted to record?
Yes. Sure, I'll do that. Sam, you have the timer sign also, right, Sam? Welcome to Women Lead Table Topics and Humorous Speech Contest. My name is Abhijit, and today we are going to have two different contests starting with the table topics. Before I go into depth of the table topics, let me call upon the Chief Judge, Shobha, to explain the details. Shobha, it's all you.
Thank you, Abhijit. The judging is very similar to what we do in our club, but maybe a little bit different than that. So you will have the speakers will have 1 to 2 minutes to finish their table topic speech. And we will see a green at 1 minute, and you will see yellow at 1:30 and a red at 2. Anyone who is not participating in the contest, but who is a club member, will be able to judge today. So I will share the ballot form at the end of all the 4 speeches, during which time you can vote for your top 3 places. So note it down. Abhijit, can you share once more the judge's ballot form for everyone? So Abhijit will share the judge's ballot form. You go through the ballot form and use that as your criteria for judging the speeches from the various speakers that we have today. And once you have judged, go ahead and mark in the ballot, the Google ballot form that I will be sharing with you, the top 3 places. So you should enter the name for the first position, second position, and the third position. Once you are done, ensure that you write your name on the top. That is very important for your ballot to be counted. And don't bother about the timing of the speech. Timer will keep the red flag on after 2 minutes. You don't bother looking at the timer. You just vote for first, second, and third. We will count the ballots and later on we'll announce the results. And ensure, again, once more, you write your name in the final ballot count form, use the ballot guide, and vote first, second, and third. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much. I will now share the order of the contestants for table topics. Contestant number 1 is going to be Priya Shastri. Contestant number 2 is going to be Sujin Kim. Contestant number 3 for table topics will be Gharsanaya Amin. And the contestant number 4 will be Chi Mac. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move contestant number 2, 3, and 4 to the breakout room. You will all be asked the same questions. After the contestant number 1 is done, we will maintain a 1 minute of silence. During that time, I will broadcast a message asking you to come to the main room. When you are coming to the main room, just click leave room and come to the main room. And please maintain silence until the timer shows the red sign. And then I will ask you the question. The timing will start when you utter the first word or if you start communicating through your gestures. You can take some time to think about the question before you answer. Before we start, any questions from the contestants? If there are no questions, I'm now going to open the breakout room. Please join the breakout room. Contestant number 1, Priya Shastri. Priya, can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Priya Shastri. The door opened. The door opened. Priya Shastri.
Thank you, Table Topics Master, and the respected judges. The door opened. The secret to success is getting started. When the door opened for me, it opened up an opportunity of learning, growing, and in the process, realizing what I want. Self-realization is the most important aspect of growth for the soul. When the door opened for me, it was in the form of education that helped me to learn the things that will help make me create a movement in the society, help people. I think education is a door that allowed me to read different aspects of history and how far we have come as a generation. Women have always fought it out. I have done my part to be more better than my previous generation. I owe it completely to the education that I have and the opportunity that I got because of the education. So I think the door of education that opened for me is the most brightest and has the sun rising even today. I hope to follow the sunlight and reach farther destinations. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Judges, please mark your ballots. Samantha, please give me a minute. Thank you, Samantha. Contestant number 2, Sujin Kim. Sujin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Can you see the timer?
Yeah, I can see that.
Sujin Kim, the door opened. The door opened, Sujin Kim.
I think door is open to you when you are ready to go out and explore new places. Sometimes it's not easy to open the door because you don't know what's outside. Inside feels comfortable, very familiar. You know, you can expect what's going to happen, but you don't know anything about what's ahead of the door. So sometimes it's not an easy decision, but without taking the risk, you may lose the chance to explore some of the things you never seen before. I think that's the story of mine as well. 9 years ago, I came to the US without knowing much about this country. Actually, it's my first time study abroad. but I just wanted to know who I will be in the new environment. I was pretty comfortable and successful when I was in Korea. I have many good friends and then having a good career at that time. But I wanted to know who I will be if I be in a different place. If I take an opportunity to be surrounded all the strangers, all the strange language, and then the new environment. Honestly, I wasn't able to do it because I didn't know how much challenges I will face. But I'm glad that I opened the door 9 years ago and I came here because it taught me the world is full of diverse ideas and that we have all different perspectives. It changed my view on the world and then way of living, because I was surrounded by same people using same language based on same background. But now I live in a very diverse culture coming from different backgrounds. So it really broadened my perspective. It made me more, it helped me to develop more better perspective about the world. So for that reason, I'm glad that I opened the door. And then in the future, if you feel you'll be scared about what's outside of the door, but remember that be confident, and then remember that you will do whatever you go. You will do well wherever you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Judges, please mark your ballots. Samantha, please give me a minute. Thank you, Samantha. Contestant number 3, Garsanai Amin. Garsanai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Are you ready?
Yes,
Can you see the timer?
I do.
Garsanai Amin. The door opened. The door opened. Garsanai Amin.
The door has opened for so many opportunities, and that's where I am at the moment in my life. A woman coming from Afghanistan, with having these taboos of Taliban, of extremist groups, of all these warlords. In me standing here, presenting myself in all the women out there on an international stage, showcasing how women from Afghanistan can represent their country and why they matter and how they need to be different from what right now is out there in the country, showing that the new generation of the country is different. And it is also opening doors for so many opportunities. We do have a dark time right now with so many amazing people stuck there. But I want to call on everyone else in the world, especially on women who are out there who want the best for everyone else. that the door is open. There is so many ways you can advocate for these women. Raise your voices, do something meaningful. It's so important to save those lives, to do something amazing in that country. In that country can't move forward without those women being in power. And how we can do that? When we open more doors for them. How do we open more doors? Every one of you have that power. Use your social media, advocate, go to your senators, write blog posts, go to social media, do everything you can. You have the power. And as a world, we need to come together and define what kind of world do we want to have. A world where we have values, democracy, human rights, or a world which is dark and Taliban. So here we go. The choice is yours, and we all can come together. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much. Judges, please mark your ballots. Timer, please give me a minute. Thank you, Samantha. Contestant number 4, Chimak.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Hold on. Yes.
Can
Yeah.
you see the timer?
Yes.
Contestant number 4, Chimak. The door opened. The door opened, Chimak.
Wait, Abhijit,
Yes,
was that the question already?
yes. The door opened. The door opened.
when the door opens, I believe that new opportunities hit everyone. New opportunities comes to your doorstep. Whether you take advantage of them or whether you decide whether they are good or bad, there are still opportunities that you can choose. Everyone have a choice of whether they want to take advantage of that opportunity. It's best that you carefully decide whether that opportunity really fits you. For example, 2 years ago, I was at my last job. The situation was really bad, but I see that situation at my workplace being bad as an opportunity, as a new opportunity for me to look elsewhere, for me to consider another place. And that's when my fellowship in Boston comes. And I thought it through about that fellowship. I decided that it's a good opportunity and I took the risk. Now at my new place in Boston, I'm learning new things, I'm meeting new people, gaining new skills, getting new experiences, and seeing a lot more things than I used to see, and getting new perspective as well in life. Therefore, I said, when a door opens, new opportunities always comes to you. Take advantage of them or choose to ask them, let them go. It's up to you, but everyone has a choice when those new opportunities comes. Thank you, Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Everyone, please maintain 2 minutes of silence. Shobha, can you put the link, the Google form link, for the judges to put in their 1, 2, 3. Samantha, please give me 2 minutes. Please submit your Google Forms.
It's been 2 minutes, Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Please maintain silence until the ballots are collected.
Have all the members submitted their ballot? Shanti, you're nodding your head, but I don't
Yes.
see your response.
It's there.
It's there now?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. We got everything. Okay. We will now move on to the humorous speech contest. A humorous speech contest is any speech for 5 to 7 minutes. Let me call upon the chief judge to give more information. Shobha, it's all you.
Thank you. Now we come for the really fun session of the contest. We talked about the door that opened. Now the door has opened for our humorous contest right here. And we have 3 amazing contestants, Gharsane, Karen, and Lakshmi Sridhar. Anyway, Abhijit will take care of all that. The rules are very simple, same as table topics. The timing is 5 to 7 minutes. So speakers, you will see a green at 5, an yellow at 6, and a red at 7. You will have 30 seconds grace period after 7, but the red flag will stay up till you are done. Judges, same as before, I will share the ballot form at the end of all the speeches. Abhijit, can you share the guide for humorous speech? So once Abhijit shares the ballot guide, have a look at that guide, look through the criteria, and based on that, you can decide how your placement is going to be. You can then decide your first place, second place, and third place. We have only 3 speakers, so you will have those 3 filled up. Again, write your name without fail and submit the form. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much. As Shobha said, you have to have at least 4 minutes, 30 seconds for your speech to be qualified. And if you go above 7 minutes, 30 seconds, then you are disqualified. So the window is 4 minutes, 30 seconds to 7 minutes, 30 seconds. Our first contestant is going to be Lakshmi Sridhar. Contestant number 2 is going to be Gharsanai Amin. And contestant number 3 is going to be Karen Conwell. Any questions from the contestants before we begin? Anyone, any
It looked like Gashami had a question.
Yes, Gharsanai, okay.
No? Okay, I just thought you were about to ask.
Thank you.
We will now begin with the humorous speech contest. Contestant number 1, Lakshmi Sridhar. Lakshmi, can you hear me? Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Lakshmi Sridhar. My head is in the clouds. What's happening? My head is in the clouds. What's happening? Lakshmi Sridhar.
You are asking me what's happening? I thought I was the only one with the head in the clouds today. I can't find my cheat sheet for the speech. How can I be so absent-minded? Wait. One of the meanings for the idiom head in the clouds is absent-mindedness, right? Bingo. Friends, Romans. This is not my drama club. Where am I? Dear Toastmasters, sorry. Absent-mindedness, some say, is a human failing resulting from lack of attention or hyper-focus on a single matter or attention diversion by external factors. However, I consider this to be an amazing gift from the Creator to make life enjoyable and, most importantly, stress-free. Both my dad and I share this beautiful trait. But he is the one who takes the cake. Once, he wanted to bless a newly married young couple by sending them a gift. He prepared a nice card and along with some currency notes, put it inside a beautifully decorated envelope. He then sent it to the couple. Few days later, he found the envelope inside a book. What do you think he had sent to the young couple then? A cover with an advertisement for a retirement home. What a thoughtful gift for a young couple. Another stellar example of my dad's absent-mindedness happened at his workplace. One day, he went to his cubicle and sat down to do his work. A younger colleague entered the room and stood next to him without uttering a single word for more than 5 minutes. Obviously, my dad was puzzled. So he asked, "How can I help you, young man?" The colleague replied, "Professor Panchapakeshan, this is actually my cubicle and yours is upstairs." To overcome this issue of absent-mindedness, my dad came up with a novel idea. He generally used to wear his watch on his left wrist, but on the days he had to remember something, he would wear it on his right wrist just before leaving for work. However, there were times when he would come back home in the evening and ask me, "Darling Lakshmi, before your mom comes, tell me, why did I wear my watch on the right wrist?" My reply, "Daddy, we were supposed to go to Granny's house for lunch." Of course, there were times when I did take advantage of the situation and say, "Daddy, you promised to buy me a new dress." Absent-mindedness runs down our family tree. I too have followed my dad's footsteps with great dedication. My head is in the clouds at least once every day. When I was doing my undergrad in Mumbai, I had to travel by bus and train every day to reach school. Once, on the day of an examination, I started from home early. I did remember to take my student ID, money for the bus, and the train pass. Upon reaching school on time, I noticed that I was walking with an awkward gait. I asked myself, how come suddenly one of my legs has become shorter? I was wearing my sister's high heel shoes on the right foot and my sneaker on the left. A friend of mine who was much tensed because of the examination looked at my fashionable footwear and started laughing uncontrollably. She then said, "It's like our Cinderella substituted a lost shoe with a sneaker." This relaxed her. Recently, at the grocery store, I gave my card for payment. The exhausted cashier's face lit up with a smile, and she said, "Sorry, ma'am, we accept only credit and debit cards, not a business card." What's that? This is not my business card. This is the cheat sheet I was looking for. And looks like My speech was not about the absent-minded trait that I share with my dad, but about how I live in my fanciful world. Another meaning for the idiom, head in the clouds. Go on, laugh at my absent-mindedness, but don't tell me that you never had this "my head is in the clouds, what's happening" situation before. We all live for such moments. Cherish these episodes in your life. It helps to get going when goings get tough. Back to you, Brutus.
Thank you so much. Judges, please mark your ballots. Timer, please give me a minute.
Abhijit, the spotlight should be on. Okay.
Thank you so much. Contestant number 2, Garsanai Amen. Garsanai, are you ready?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
I do.
You can see the timer.
Yes, I can see the timer.
Garsanaya Amin. A day without laughter is a day wasted. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Garsanaya Amin.
Imagine jumping out of a skydiving plane and discovering that your parachute is not working. What are the memories that would flash right before you? Think about it. Now imagine that the parachute opened. How would you act differently, knowing that right now you can land safely? I want you to think about this while I'm sharing with you what has been happening. I went to Hor province 3 years ago. It was one of the most memorable moments of my life because I was in my teens, this energy going out there, changing the world, and having this all energy being there and using that energy. So I called my mom. Hey, Mom, I am going to Hor province. Mom is, oh, how far is that province? Mom, it's only 4 hours. Okay. I was the co-founder of an organization called Youth Empowerment in Leadership Organization. Super committed to baddest women leading the world, having that motivation with me. So now it's 4 a.m. morning. I am right in front of the bus, getting on the bus, seeing that I am the only woman in the bus with all men out there. And I got to know that it's not a 4 hours drive. It's 14 hours of a drive. And I'm like, okay. And it's in Afghanistan. And the bus is going to a conservative place. So men are looking at me like, okay. Because I am this cool woman for them, being Western style in the way they look is like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. baddest woman leading the world. I don't give anything, and just sitting in the bus. And then I get to know that the bus is having a stop at a checkpoint where the Taliban is. So the bus is going to be stopped and Taliban is going to see the bus. And I did not know that. So I am so freaked out. I cannot call anyone either because we have already crossed like until 7 or 8 hours. We are right there in the middle of the way. Cannot go back. And I am not gonna go back anyways. So I'm super freaked out and terrified. And at the same time, with full of laughter, because there is this very wonderful, funny guy sitting there. And guess what? He is preparing for his humorous speech, the wedding speech by the groom, preparing in that bus for level 3 speech. He knows that the bus is gonna have a stop point there. But his deep love with Toastmasters is not stopping him from pursuing anything. He's just asking one of the guys in the bus, could you be a counter for me and count my and ums? And then asking this other guy, could you be my timer so I don't cross 7 minutes and 30 seconds so I can win this humorous speech contest? I'm like, Jesus Christ, we are going to face the worst battle. There's going to be Taliban checking the bus. And you are preparing for Toastmasters with this love and passion. And the speech is about wedding speech by the groom. And I want you to imagine what can be included in that speech. Father-in-law, the interesting relationship of the father-in-law with the groom. So seeing that just brings this deeper hope and desire in me. And imagine all of us are right now here. We could relate to that guy. Toastmaster is our life. Abhijit is spending 14 hours of his day in Toastmasters. Right now it's 10:40 for me p.m. and I am preparing and standing here for Toastmasters. It has been part of our life. And it has been part of our life in those really crucial moments too. So we stop there. There are those scary freaking people out there stopping our car. And they look at us and the guys, you know what? It's my wedding day and I'm preparing for that wedding day in this speech. We cross safely, and when we move forward, what does this guy tells me? He says, a day without laughter is a day wasted. Life feels very much like a test that I didn't study for. But there is so much music, background music in there that you can dance with. If this guy can present a Toastmasters humorous speech in that car, why can't we laugh? Why can't we make every moment of life full of joy, full of happiness, and laugh like a kid who just doesn't know the sadness and sorrow of the world? So when you try all the way. And if you feel like you're giving up, just go one extra mile. Take that one extra step. Spend that one extra hour so that you don't fall short. And you will love it. And you'll meet people who will make you laugh, like that awesome guy of humorous speech contest. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much. Judges, please mark your ballots. Timer, please give me a minute. Thank you, Samantha. Contestant number 3, Karen Conwell. Karen, are you ready?
That unmute button gets me every time.
Can you see the timer?
Yes, I can.
Karen Conwell, let the games begin. Let the games begin, Karen Conwell.
I am so excited. My favorite sport has been elevated to Olympic status. That means I could become a future Olympian. Oh, it's so awesome. Do you want to see how it started? Oh, great. Oh, sorry. I'm getting there. This is how it started. This is Tom Daley. And do you see what he's doing at the Olympics? He's knitting in public at the Olympics. Now, I gotta tell you, Tom is a real winner in my book. Let me show you his winning picture. This picture tells you everything you need to know about Tom Daley. You'll see that he's in his swimsuit. That's because he's a diver on the UK diving team. But why I really show you this picture is because of the sweater he has on. Do you see the sweater? Here's the back of that gorgeous sweater that he knit during the Olympics while he was competing. I don't think he actually knit while diving, but while watching everyone, he knit. Now, Tom has only been knitting for less than 2 years. He started during the pandemic. And yet he's knit this gorgeous work of art. I give him an A+ in all knitting circles. And many people give him an A. We're going to go back to this picture. You might not have noticed, you were probably distracted by the bubbles, that around his neck is a large gold medal. The 10-meter men's synchronous diving competition, he and his buddy Mitty took the gold home. Now they dive off a 10-meter board, simultaneously having to do exactly the same routine in perfect synchronicity. And of course, you can see he got the gold, and so we know he did a spectacular job. Tom took his knitting to the Olympics, and the Olympics broadcast his knitting to the world. And for that, I am incredibly grateful. You know, the sport of knitting actually started with the sport of fishing eons ago, probably way before the Olympics, when some brainy person figured out how to tie knots in a particular order to make a net. And once you've gone from a net, it is no problem to think about a pattern for an octopus or even the ubiquitous cute puppy. Now, the Olympics is a game of strength and stamina. But I honestly think we started the Olympics when strength and stamina were the only things that were important. But now, now more is important. Let's talk about color and texture. Now, if this makes you salivate, or you want to reach out and just touch that yarn, then I encourage you to get a set of needles and get ready for the next Olympic event. It's going to be spectacular. And color and texture, what happens if you let knitters decorate Olympic towns? There is no telling what they might come up with. It could even be scary. But now I want to share a little something most knitters, most people who don't knit, know. We don't actually knit to produce things. Yes, you heard that right. That's not why we knit. We knit for the meditative qualities that knitting brings to us. Now, I know what you're thinking. Karen, how can going from this to this be meditative? It does not look meditative to me. It looks horrifying. But honestly, it is meditative. And there are things that happen with knitting that you should also know about. There's a time problem. I started this when I was pregnant with my first son. Unfortunately, I finished it when he was 10. He wouldn't even try it on. Can you believe the audacity of that child? Knitting is really important, and the meditative effects are incredible. If you advertise knitting on TV, you would have to read this list of side effects. Knitting may cause you to reduce or be able to manage stress, pain, and depression. Knitting changes your brain chemistry. It increases serotonin and dopamine while decreasing stress hormones. A double whammy. Knitting strengthens your hands, reducing the pain from arthritis. And most importantly, if you're all stressed out when you get done with work, knitting causes an overall relaxation response that lowers both heart rate and blood pressure. And knitting reduces the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Knitting offers all the meditative qualities of meditation. And you get a pair of socks. I really want to thank Tom Daly for bringing his knitting to the Olympics. Let the games begin. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Judges, please mark your ballots. Shobha, can you please submit the Google form link? Samantha, please give me 4 minutes. Shobha, it seems all ballots are collected.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. While I'm doing the counting timer, send me your report, and Abhijit, maybe you can interview the contestants.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Shobha. Let me congratulate everyone for participating in the contest. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's tough, I haven't had a chance to contest in table topics. When I was in my first year, I was too chicken to participate. So I really admire you all for participating in the contest. Priya, how was your experience?
I had a very good time thinking about the door that opened. So I was lost in imagination for some time. And then I had to recollect myself and tell myself that, okay, I need to speak now.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing what was going on in your mind.
I was imagining wonderful scenes right after the door opened. I almost went to see the mountains, which were snow-capped, and a lot of cool breeze flowing, and I had everything coming into the picture as the door opened. So I had to tell myself that, okay, focus on one and just do that.
Thank you so much, Priya. Thank you. Sujin, how was your experience? This was your first time participating in the contest. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Awesome.
It was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really like the topic that you asked. So it's a little bit of surprise, but also unexpected, but also, yeah, I think it was a really good topic to explore. So I'm not sure if I managed the time well. So I think maybe disqualified because of that.
Seems like you really were enjoying yourself while you were on the stage.
Yeah, I think, but it took me some time to process, like what clearly, define what I'm trying to say, because maybe it's kind of my nature. So just there's something that I would like to say, but just it doesn't come pretty quickly to my head. So it was a little bit of challenging for me.
But thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Wait, Abhijit, is it Shobha is the one who's calculating the ballots?
Yes.
Sorry, I have a hard time actually putting in. There's something wrong with it. I'll just message her. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Garsanai.
please go ahead and text me separately in the chat.
Garsanai, how was your experience?
For both? Or for...
No, for just for the table topics.
I think it was really good to just speak without knowing the topic. I think I haven't been on Toastmasters for a little while, but it was a good opportunity for me to reflect on some of the strengths and the areas that I could improve on. And I also saw that having to see the participants who are very kind with being smiling at you or encouraging you is like really a good feeling, that I really get that energy from the participants. So that was something that I was also reflecting on.
That is true. When we can use the energy of the audience, that can elevate our speech. Thank you so much, Garsanai. Thank you for sharing that experience. GMAC, how was your experience?
I had a hard time with your question too. That's why I had to ask again. I was like, was that the question? Where's the ending of the question? I wasn't sure what you were trying to go with that statement. So I made something up.
But you came back very strong, GMAC.
We'll see about that. But it's great. Come up with your imagination.
Thank you, GMAC. Thank you for participating.
She's good enough.
Lakshmi, how was it? going from international speech to now humorous speech. How was your experience? What do you think?
It was good. And I was so happy this time I could listen to other speakers because usually I'm the tail end, so I don't get to listen to most of the speeches because I'm tense. And like I said, I'm the second category person, who can just focus on one thing. So now I had a chance to see others, Karen and Ganasani, right? Did I pronounce it right?
Garsanai. Yeah.
I'd seen her speech, but the name is, I think the last name is, I don't remember. Amin? Is that Amin?
You got it. Yeah.
Okay, yes, see, I remember. So I really enjoyed the speeches, but I couldn't listen to the table topics.
We have the recording for you.
I'm always tensed, even on the regular speech days, I'm very tense. I told Priya, oh, you always go before me and I can't, I've never heard a speech live. It's always in the recording.
Thank you so much for sharing, Lakshmi. Garsanai, how was it with the humorous speech?
I think it was, again, a moment, like for me, it's more about reflection and awareness. And I was connecting, I guess, humor with Taliban, which I think do not really go together well, especially given how things are in the intensity of it and how emotionally also connected I am to the topic. So I was thinking that maybe I could have shared another part of the story. And other than that, I think I'm more like serious, I guess, more of like a person who is more in my head and strategic thinker and stuff like that. So humor is definitely a place that that I could work on and integrate it into my speech. But I think I was happy with the way things worked out. I was happy with my performance, and also it was a good learning opportunity to learn more and get to know myself better.
Thank you so much for participating. Karen, how was it for you?
Now, Avi, I think a lot of people think Karen has spoken in a lot of speech contests, but she avoids them like the plague. Okay, I've been in one contest before, and I think I made it up to the next level and then timed out, right? So that then it's all over, right? And it was on, the topic that I work on, and it stressed me out incredibly. Then I came on this topic, right, with the humorous. It was the international speech contest before, but with the humorous, and this speech actually has evolved a few times, right, because I started playing with it. And then somebody said, you told me you should put this in the humorous speech contest, right? And I'm like, oh, I could do this because I could really ham this up. So I have to tell you, I have had more fun playing with this. I recorded a version, and I must have sent it out to 10 other Toastmasters, right? And said, what do I do different, right? And of course, you get all kinds of really interesting feedback. So I have to tell you that I'm having a total blast. And I think it's because it's humorous that it's like, well, how much can you make people laugh, right? Because, that's a gift, right? So I really, really enjoyed it. I almost didn't enter it because I didn't so much enjoy it the first time, but this time I'm having a total blast with it.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate that. Anamika, how was it for you listening to all these speakers and being a spectator today?
Yeah, I really enjoyed like how people are great thinker and like how they are on the spot. And it was really interesting to hear all the ideas. Like for one topic, people can think differently and they can come up with different ideas, different thoughts. So yeah, it was really interesting.
Thank you so much. Samantha, I really want to thank you for being the timer today. I really appreciate that. How was your experience, Samantha?
Good. I wasn't totally ready to be a timer, but I got everyone's stuff on time. So it's good.
Last time you were a contestant in the table topics, and this time you were a spectator. How was it to be at the other end?
Less nerve-wracking because so scary the first time.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Shobha. I really appreciate you for being the chief judge. Thank you, because it makes the contest run smoothly. Thank you.
Sure.
And I want to thank all the judges. Thank you so much, because it really helps us a lot to run the contest smoothly. I now return the control to our chief judge, Shobha Rao. It's all you, Shobha.
Thank you, Abhijit. It's time to announce the results. Are you all ready? We are going to know who is going to represent our club in the quarterfinals of Fall Fusion. Let's attack table topics first. We had excellent 4 table topic speeches from all the speakers here. Garsanai, Priya, Sujin, Chi. Thank you very much for participating in the contest today. Now for the results. We did have one-time disqualification, unfortunately. So out of the, I am going to announce only the top 2 out of the 4, because it doesn't make sense to announce top 3 when we have only 4 contestants under time disqualification. So the first runner-up is Chi. Let's give a big hand to Chi.
Thank you. I did not expect that.
Sure, thank you. Good speech.
Thank you so much.
Now for the table topic winner, it is Garsanai Amin. Good job, Garsanai. That was a heartfelt speech. And you will be representing our club in the quarterfinals of Folk Fusion. Thank you for that wonderful speech. Now let's move on to the humorous speech contest. We had 3 contestants. We had Lakshmi, Garsanai, and Karen as our contestants today. Indeed, excellent humorous speeches across all realms of the world. One talked about knitting, and a fantastic, if I may say so, a rugby player in the picture. I enjoyed the photos. And we also had Garsanai talking about Afghanistan and how much Toastmasters has reached all the way there. Excellent. And Lakshmi with her absent-mindedness. Perfect, Lakshmi. We cannot expect anything less from you. Thank you, everyone, for these awesome humorous speeches. Since there were 3 contestants, I'm going to announce only the first winner. So, and the remaining 2, if the second winner, will be let known by Abhijit later, so that in case the first winner cannot make it, you will represent the club at the quarterfinals. Now, the winner of the humorous speech contest is Karen Conwell. Let the game begin. Thank you, Karen. And thank you, Lakshmi. It was an awesome speech. And thank you, Garsanai. So we will have Garsanai representing our club as the table topics contestant, and Karen representing our club as the humorous speech contestant. Karen, you are going to have a lot more fun preparing for the next level now.
Oh, I'm ready for that. I am ready for that. And I want to let this second place person know that I have also won at another club, and I can only represent one club.
Yes.
So
yes.
that whoever that second place person is, don't back too far away from your speech.
Sure. So we will definitely
probably going to get queued up.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Karen. We'll let the second winner know as to so that they can be ready. And once you decide which club you want to represent, the game is on. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much. Chimak, can you turn on your camera? We want to take a picture. Everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for a delightful evening. I will now adjourn this meeting. We are going to meet next week at 7 p.m. Please join us. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everybody, for
Bye.
putting on the contest. It's a lot of work and